Hi, we made the film Matrix, and I'm Mark Heller.
I'm Rick Bowman.
I'm Tammy Sizer.
And Tyler Schmidt.
So our team was split with 2 software developers and 2 web developers. Mark and I are the 2 software developers, and they are the web developers.
So these are the kind of features that we wanted to put into our website. So an overview, Film Matrix is a social networking site for movie fans. So users can create their own profiles, add friends, rate and review movies, and then they can see movies that their friends have also rated.
So way in the beginning, we started with our wireframe, and that was it was interesting, it was basic, and will surprise you with the look at the end, but I think Rick will tell you what happened in the middle that changed some of the look that Tyler and I were going for.
Yeah, so our group started out as a PHP group since we hadn't had ASP.NET yet. And since we were all enrolled this semester, we decided to challenge ourselves and do an ASP.NET webpage. So for the first sprint, since all we knew about was web forms, we did a web form UI, and it was awful to work with. And then we learned about MVC during the second sprint, so we immediately scrapped our first UI, completely made a new one, and it was a lot easier to work with. So that was kind of how our group went.
All right, and this is what we came up with in the end. So the cool part about this is we're pulling in all the information dynamically. The smartest decision we made was we're actually buying data from 2 different APIs, so that we don't have to go out and find all this information about movies, manually enter it into a database. And it just saved us so much time. So we're able to just grab these posters, load them in, and we go over to our Now Playing page. We actually get a list of all the movies that are currently in theaters. So you can see Avengers Infinity War, that one recently came out. And the second that previous page is loaded, we have all this information already loaded into Session. So we're pulling in Metascores, IMDb ratings, and an aggregate score of you and your friends, how they've rated movies, so that you can see how movies stacks up based on other platforms. You can see how critics like it, how your friends like it, and how everyone else in the world likes it.
Yeah, and the way we get all of our movie data, the reason why we use 2 APIs is because the first API that we were using, it gives us a lot of information about one specific movie, but it doesn't allow us to get lists of movies. So we went out and found another API that gives us a lot of custom list options. We can get all the movies that are playing in the last 3 weeks, all the movies that are playing are being released in the next 3 weeks. But the problem with that UI is it doesn't give us very much information about the film. It gives us the title and a movie poster, and that's basically it. So the solution I came up with for that was I call one API to get a list of movies, and then for each one of those in the list, I call the other API to get all the information about that movie. So then we have a new list of movies that has all of the information that we want to show to the user.
And I'm currently logged in, and you can see I did not like the Avengers, but you know what? I saw it a second time, and I'm gonna upgrade my score to a good. And you can see now our aggregate score is 3.5. So I believe that is 5 people in this friend circle that it's grabbing from. And then you can also go over to upcoming films, and we can see the movies that are releasing soon. So if I wanted to look at Solo: A Star Wars Story, we can just see all the information. People haven't rated it yet because it's not out yet. We purposely do not allow our users to rate movies that haven't come out yet, because how can you rate a movie you haven't seen? That's just silly. And we also link out to the website of the movie. So if you go to this, I can see the website for the movie. It's just another cool thing that we get just for buying the data from one of those APIs. It's totally worth the $5 a month that we're paying for that. That one also scales. We can do 100,000 API calls a day before we have to upgrade to another tier, which even that was $7 for a million or plus a day. So it's extremely cheap and definitely worth it. So I think I'll pass it off to Rick and Tammy to talk about some of the UI and design choices we made.
So in the beginning, we went in with the design, and our customers made some suggestions, and so we changed it, and then we went to the MVC. And then, so that, we had to change everything all over again, which was an opportunity because we made it a little bit brighter and put some action into our screens. So, and I think it was nice that Tyler and I were the CSS or the UI people, because then we worked off of them and we could communicate between the two of us what each person was working on.
So our design flow pretty much went, I would write the back-end code for the website. I would pass it off to Rick, who would take the information that I'm creating. He could push it up into the user interface, and then Rick and Tammy would then style everything. So just kind of we're passing the website around each other. So I was about a week ahead of them on everything, and then by the time it got to them, we were on time with all of our sprints.
We met weekly, and that really helped. We just talked to each other in the beginning, say where we were, and then we would do a lot of pair coding to explain, like Tyler and I someone would have an issue, and then we would decide or research it together, so that helped a lot.
So, there's a question, I mean, did you guys just naturally kind of find your niches, or did you guys have a conversation?
In the beginning, the first night, we did a worksheet and said what our strengths were, and we divided right up then.
Yeah, and then as we were going through the process of developing the backend and the UI, we found that it was more efficient for Mark to do most of the backend stuff. And since he wasn't the best at getting all of the data actually to the UI and the views, I took care of that. So he would write the backend, I would take his backend code, transfer it to the views and the controllers, and then I would pass it off to them so they could style it however they wanted.
And then when I was done styling, I would send out, we did most of our communication by email. We all had different jobs and stuff, so it really did work out well for us. And they would just let us know when they had dropped something and we would pick it up. Or I would give them hints that I'm ready for the next thing.
You mentioned friend circles on here. Is that a thing, feature? I didn't.
I think that was one thing that we were having to back-end add friends to people. We had an issue that caused it to not make it into the front end. But it's all there. What happens is when you register for an account, a unique friend code is made, which is just your last name and then a few pseudo-randomly generated characters, which you can then pass out, because this kind of data doesn't really matter who can see it and who can't. And we didn't really want to build like a discovery platform into the site. The discovery platform itself is you can look at your friend's friends, and if you like what movies they're rating, you can then add them as your friend. So it's just pretty much, it would naturally build based on the people that you see and like what they're rating. You can then build your group based off of that. Because the whole goal is you want to find movies that you and your friends like. You don't really care about what everyone else rates. You just want to see, oh, everyone really liked this movie, but my friends group didn't like it because we're not into either the genre or the director or something. So it would just kind of dynamically grow.
Yeah, all of the backend support is there for all of the friending and removing friends, seeing what they
Locking
like.
people.
No, it just never made it to the UI because I had to step away for the final sprint from the project to do some stuff.
So then, are you managing? I'm curious. How are you managing all that stuff? Just in a SQL Server database, or like a graph database, or?
Yeah,
Yep.
users are all in a SQL Server
Okay.
database, and then all of the actual movie information just comes from the two APIs that I use.
Yep, the only information we're actually storing in a SQL Server database is user account information and login information, and we are storing the ratings. Everything else is built when you load the web page.
Completely responsive?
Yep.
assuming you guys did everything Microsoft, like TFS?
Yeah.
Use TFS for all your spreads and your stories, and user stories, and.
We actually had an Excel spreadsheet that we had around, because kind of the way we were doing our development, I just kind of started building a feature and we passed it around. So I was really the only one who needed to know all that information, because when I would finish it, it would just get passed along and we'd pass it through our group. So I just had a spreadsheet that I made so that I can see what I need to work on, what features I need to build for the sprint. We actually had our entire set of sprints decided upon from the beginning. So I think it was week 3 of the project, we knew everything that we were going to do when it was going to be done. And it was just so helpful because we could just easily look and go, oh, okay, I need to be researching APIs this week. I need to be, styling this page and whatnot. And when we hit the bumps with needing to rebuild our site in NVC, it was annoying, but we were still able to recover pretty easily.
Is that the only thing that changed in your sprints?
Yes.
Going to NBC?
We had a few comments on styling, but I don't think anything drastic changed from that, just because we had such a good idea of everything that we wanted to do and how we needed to do it.
Any other questions? Cool, good work.